Requiem's echo energy manifests in a street-level villain. Spider-Man must protect citizens without revealing full truth. Strange sends guidance from a safe distance. Peter balances his hero duties with secrecy. He begins connecting temporal dots. Citizen encounters are tense but controlled. The villain's powers hint at Requiem's lingering influence. Peter reunites briefly with Ned and MJ. He explains minor temporal anomalies without revealing full danger. MJ notices Peter's weariness. The city seems calm, but small glitches persist. Peter practices controlling residual timeline energy. He trains alone atop skyscrapers. A quiet sense of impending conflict remains. Riftmaker's energy pulses stronger in hidden areas. Peter detects dimensional echoes in subways. Strange warns the cracks may reopen if left unchecked. Peter confronts minor distortions alone. Familiar echoes of past battles appear in reflections. Peter realizes the scale of multiversal damage is immense. He prepares for potential resurgence. MJ begins noticing strange coincidences. She remembers fleeting flashes of Peter's heroics. Peter hides his involvement but struggles emotionally. Small time fractures create minor anomalies around the city. Peter intervenes quietly, leaving behind subtle signs. MJ's curiosity grows, testing Peter's secrecy. A new mystery begins to unfold. Minor glitches remain in isolated areas. Peter notices citizens seeing shadowy duplicates briefly. Requiem's influence leaves faint energy traces. Peter consults Strange for residual temporal anomalies. A new subtle threat begins to emerge in the shadows. He begins nightly patrols, alert for echoes. Responsibility weighs heavily again. Peter destroys the anchor, stabilizing timelines. Requiem slowly dissolves, freed from doomed future. MJ passes by Peter, sensing an emotional pull. Soft sunlight breaks through post-storm sky. Peter accepts his sacrifice silently. New York heals as timelines close. A painful but heroic new chapter begins. Riftmaker unleashes a dimensional storm across Manhattan. Buildings shift into past versions. People duplicate into parallel selves. Peter and Requiem fight side by side despite emotional tension. Doctor Strange opens protective domes. Storm Center beneath NYC is revealed, a multiversal anchor. Peter senses MJ's faint memory trapped inside it. A masked vigilante named Requiem appears, blaming Spider-Man for timeline failures. He predicts coming dimensional storms with terrifying accuracy. MJ experiences strange déjà vu when Spider-Man appears on news. Ned dreams of webs and falling buildings. Reality cracks open above Times Square, unleashing golden fractures. A new villain, the Riftmaker, arrives feeding on timeline chaos. Spider-Man swings into the storm to confront him. Peter Parker wakes in a world where no one remembers him. Not MJ, not Ned. Daily Bugle escalates its smear campaign against Spider-Man. Timeline glitches appear on buildings and streets. Peter tries to reach MJ anonymously, feeling emotional pain. He patrols the city alone, burdened with guilt. Doctor Strange sends a warning. Multiversal timelines are destabilizing. Peter realizes a new threat is emerging from the timeline fractures. Timeline cracks appear in multiple neighborhoods. Minor villains gain powers from distortions. Peter struggles to protect civilians while managing timeline energy. MJ starts following subtle patterns secretly. Peter senses something bigger than before. Night patrols become intense. He begins planning strategy with Strange's advice. Cracks converge near Oscorp. Spider-Man investigates alone. He finds small temporal anomalies creating minor duplicates of himself. Past memories briefly manifest in reflections. Strange stabilizes surrounding anomalies remotely. Peter realizes the core of Riftmaker's energy remains active. He prepares for final showdown. Riftmaker manifests fully in Oscorp Plaza. He controls dimensional energy waves. Peter confronts him directly, swinging through unstable environment. Timeline fractures ripple through the plaza. MJ witnesses from a distance, shocked but unharmed. Peter fights with acrobatics and precise web shots. City trembles under multiversal force. Riftmaker amplifies energy, affecting nearby districts. Spider-Man coordinates evacuations while fighting. Strange projects protective shields. Timeline cracks widen visibly. Peter's suit shows signs of strain. Energy pulses create dangerous obstacles. He begins desperate counterattacks. Peter uses multi-angle web attacks. He exploits weak points in Riftmaker's energy. Strange assists with controlled dimensional pulses. City becomes a dynamic battlefield. Peter adapts quickly to changing anomalies. Riftmaker grows frustrated but resilient. Peter remains determined despite fatigue. Riftmaker targets Peter directly. Peter uses a dangerous move, risking his life to stabilize a large crack. City energy pulses in response. MJ and Ned watch anxiously. Peter succeeds but is visibly weakened. Strange stabilizes smaller anomalies. Tension peaks before final showdown. Riftmaker gathers all remaining energy for a final strike. Spider-Man confronts him head-on in mid-air above Manhattan. Building reflections show city chaos. Webs and energy collide. Peter's determination shines through despite exhaustion. Cinematic slow motion captures high stakes. Outcome uncertain until final act. Peter targets the multiversal anchor at the storm center. Energy pulses violently. Webs connect to anchor nodes. Riftmaker struggles to maintain control. Peter stabilizes anchor, collapsing dimensional energy. City calms partially. Peter remains heroically poised, exhausted but determined. Anchor fully stabilizes. Riftmaker dissolves into golden energy. Peter lands on rooftop, breathing heavily. MJ notices faint memories returning. City streets slowly restore normalcy. Peter smiles faintly, accepting his personal sacrifice. New timeline stability begins. Peter resumes patrols with a quiet sense of victory. MJ remembers fleeting fragments of Spider-Man. City life slowly returns to normal. Minor timeline echoes remain, hinting at future threats. Peter swings through restored skyline. He accepts his responsibility as hero. A new adventure looms on the horizon.